Hi Year 5, it's Ben again. We're doing some more fractions this week. Yay! So today we are going to be looking at adding fractions. We're going to start off easy though, and we've probably done this before, but we'll just do a quick refresh. So if we are adding fractions with the same denominator, so for example here we've got 3/8, and we're going to add 2/8 to that. That is pretty straightforward. So all we really need to do is count out 3/8, so 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, and then we are going to add on 2 more 8s. So 1, 2. So if we count those up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we simply have 5/8. So in this case, the denominators, because they are the same, they stay the same in the answer, and then all we needed to do was add our numerators. Now, it's not always going to be that easy. So, let's have a look at adding fractions with different denominators. So, we're going to do it with a diagram to start off with, and then we're going to work towards doing it without a diagram. So, we've got 1/4. So, I'm going to go ahead and shade in 1/4. And we want to add 1/2 to that. So, I'm going to colour in 1/2. So using that diagram, that's actually pretty easy. We've got 1/4 and 1/2. And if we look at that, that is the same as 1, 2, 3/4. So what was hard about that, I hear you ask? Well, let's try and do it without the diagram. So, what we need to find is, if we're going to add fractions with different denominators, we've got to find a common denominator. And that's going to make it easy. So remember all that work we did on multiples and factors, that's where it's going to come into play. So, if we look at our denominators here, we have 4 and we have 2. And we know that because we know our 4 times tables and our 2 times tables, we know that 4 is going to be our common denominator. So we can turn 1/2 into quarters. So to do that, we're going to have to multiply 2 by 2, which is going to give us 4. And whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do the top. So we multiply our numerator by 2 as well, and that's going to give us 2/4. So now we've got 1/4, which is that. Add 2/4, and because our denominators are the same again, we just leave that as 4, and then we add our numerators. So 1 plus 2, 3. So 3/4. Okay, so let's step it up a notch. So we've got 3/10 and we've got 4/5. So we've got to look for our common denominator. So thinking about your multiples of 10, your multiples of 5, we both know that 10 and 5, lowest common denominator that you could probably use in this case is going to be 10. So we don't need to do anything to 3/10 because it's already in tenths. However, we do need to turn fifths into tenths. So to do that, we multiply our denominator by 2, which will give us 10. And whatever we do at the bottom, we do it to the top. So we're going to multiply our numerator by 2, and that's going to give us 8/10. So again, 3/10 plus 8/10, and that will give us 11/10, which is an improper fraction, which if you watched last week's video, we could also turn that into a mixed number. I wonder if you can do that. Alright, let's try it again. So, looking at this fraction here, 1/9 plus 1/7. Now, those two numbers, they don't look like they go into each other very easily. So I'm thinking about my multiples of 9, I'm thinking about my multiples of 7. Easiest way to actually solve this one is to actually multiply them by themselves. Now, that sounds a little bit funny, but let's give it a go. So, 1/9 we are going to multiply by 7. So I'm going to do 1/9 times 7, which means I need to do it to the numerator as well. I'm going to multiply that by 7, and that's going to give me 7 over 63. So let me check that. 1 times 7, 7. 9 times 7, 63. And we're going to do the other one as well. So we're going to turn 1/7 into 63rds as well. Now to do that, we need to multiply this by 9, and then we need to multiply the numerator by 9 as well. So to check that, 1 times 9 is 9, 7 times 9, 63, and we have common denominators there, so we should be able to add those together. Now, I do not know what you'd be cutting up into 63rds, but if anyone knows, let us know. Okay, 7 plus 9, 16. So we have 16 63rds. Okay, let's try one more. So again, looking at this one, we've got 4/6 and we have 3/11. So again, I can't think of any easy way to turn 6 into 11ths or 11ths into 6. So what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply each fraction by the other fraction. So, for example, if we're doing 4/6, we're going to multiply the 6 by 11, and we're then going to in turn multiply the numerator by 11. So we will have 44 over 66, which means we then need to multiply 11 times 6, and because we're multiplying the 11 times 6, we need to multiply our numerator by 6 as well. So that's going to give us 3 times 6 is 18, 11 times 6 is 66. So if we add those together, 44 plus 18, we're going to have to do that in my head. 40 plus 10 is 54, 54 plus 8 is 62. So that gives us 62 66. Okay. Alright guys, well I hope I explained that. Okay, there will be an activity on, you guessed it, SeeSaw again, to help you with that. If you have any trouble with it, just shoot us a message over SeeSaw, or our email address is also on the website. In the meantime, stay safe, keep smiling, keep learning, keep doing your rockstar, please. And we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.